Hello vinyl community, Mike from Mike Guitar Player 07 here, coming at you live with another video, and I am back from my break. Month-long break, and here I am. So, the first video back is going to be a recent finds video from the end of August through the end of September. I got lots of cool stuff to show you, so let's get right on to the video. Missed you guys, hopefully you missed me, and I'm excited to show you what I got. So, first, we will start off with some CDs. The first one I bought, I got this from Amazon, but it was being shipped through Bull Moose, so I thought that was cool. I got B.O.B. presents The Adventures of Bobby Ray. This is a throwback album for me that I never owned back in the day, but loved this music quite a bit in 8th grade. So, this features the first hit. This is the debut album for B.O.B. and it featured a hit, Nothing on You, featuring Bruno Mars. Airplanes, featuring Hayley Williams, who is the lead singer of Paramore, or is, I don't know if they're still around, but I think they are. And they also had the big hit Magic, which featured, who was it again? Rivers Cuomo. And this album came out in 2010, so this thing's 10 years old already, which I can't believe, but I was thrilled to add this to my collection. Now, a couple months back, I got that exclusive variant album cover of Camila Cabello's Romance album. It was the wrong one. It was the wrong album variant, but I was thrilled to have it anyway. Well, I finally got the right one. This is the album cover I originally had ordered. And I think they want me to send back the other one. I don't know for a fact, but that is the proper cover. Next, I got Dave's Picks by the Grateful Dead, Volume 35. This is from the Philadelphia Civic Center in Philadelphia, PA on 4/20/1984. This is number 17,318 out of 22,000, excuse me. And yeah, this is the next bit of the newest, as of this moment, Dave's Picks. Randy over at Randall Weaver sent me volume 34, and now I'm hooked on these. They're expensive, I must say, but they are very much so worth their while. 3 hours of music, pretty much an entire concert you're getting the audio files of. You know, it's cheaper than buying a concert ticket still, so there we go. Next, when I say I've been wanting this album in my collection for over a decade, what year did this come out? 2009. So we're talking 11 years here I've been wanting this in my collection, and for whatever reason I'm just now getting it. Well, here it is, Taylor Swift's Platinum Edition CD. I remember this coming out. At the time, I believe it was only a Target exclusive version with the music video DVD and this CD. And, you know, for the longest time, my sister had bought the standard edition when this came out in 2009, or was gifted it, I can't remember, but she had it. So I think that's probably why I never bought it. But this has 6 new tunes that are actually featured before the standard edition albums come. So like the 6 new tunes are at the beginning of the album, and then it goes into Fearless Through Change, which is the normal running order of the album. Then it has some music videos and then behind the scenes stuff on the DVD. Haven't cracked the seal on this, but I've been wanting that for 10 years and 11 years, and I'm glad to have it. They now have that press on vinyl. I might get it. I might just opt for the standard edition of Fearless on vinyl. I'm not sure. But speaking more Taylor Swift, Taylor Swift, since her 1989 album, I believe, I don't know if it's 1989 or Reputation album, but either way, she started releasing multiple variants, and generally it was Target exclusive. So like with Reputation, there was like 4 different booklets that you could get with the album that had different photos and behind the scenes stuff and demo tapes and all that. And she's kept doing that. Well, with her new album, Folklore, that just came out a couple months ago. This is her 8th studio album, so she released it for a limited time as available on her website only, 8 album cover variants. All the same price for the physical copy and the digital download that came with the order, but 8 variants. And I've always wanted all the variants of a Taylor Swift album. Ever since I saw that, I thought it was cool. Do I need it? No, but it's a collector in me, as us all. So I finally bit the bullet and did it. So this is and this is all on the CD versions. The vinyl records and all that have not been released yet. They're not coming out until November. But these are the CD variant of the covers. So this is a standard album cover for Folklore. And I'm just going to show them as they are. Each one has a special name to them, but I can't remember all of them at this moment, so I'm just not going to bother. The back sides of these all have various exclusive photos that are exclusive to the track, to the way the back covers of all these look too. But I'll probably feature that when I do a thing about this album once the vinyl record versions come in. I did order the 7-inch single of the Cardigan single, and I also ordered that on CD, but that Cardigan single has not been delivered or shipped on CD yet, but that is okay. So that is what I've personally purchased so far as of the making of this video, with the exception of these things. Actually, I lied. Those are the things that I didn't buy from VC members. We'll put it that way. These are the things that I have bought from VC members. So this first one is a single by Madam X, Firewalker, signed and everything. And I'm very much so looking forward to spinning this. Because I've gotten so much in this. I'm sure you guys probably understand. I know Marikan most certainly does, because she's in the same boat as me. Gotten so much, it's hard to keep up with everything and live life. But autographed by Madam X herself. If you don't know who Madam X is, it is the vinyl guru here, as her stage name, music, and boy am I excited to check this out. I always love supporting local indie artists, on top of Guru, of course, being a great person to begin with. Next, Jenny over at B-Sides has her Sunday live streams, and over the course of a couple of them, I had purchased 3 things from her, and actually I hadn't, to my knowledge, paid her for them, so me and her are exchanging emails as of the moment of recording this to make sure I did, because I don't recall, but she said she'd get back to me. But anyway, so I ended up buying from her Rob Bass, Incredible Bass cassette, which I think is going to be cool. I never really listened to him, but I believe it's hip-hop, based on my recollection of her description. And quite frankly, hip-hop cassettes, I'm all for it. And, you know, I never saw this show as a kid. I might have seen it once or twice in the very, very early 2000s, because I have very faint memories of this show. But this is the Animaniacs, music from the TV show, or the movie. I'm not sure. I think there was a movie too. But anyway, I know the theme song for it, and one of my high school friends loves the Animaniacs, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to get that. It's cool. And I also bought from Jenny Never Sleep Again, which is a documentary about Nightmare on Elm Street, which is going to be fantastic to check out. Nightmare on Elm Street is a classic, of course, and it is all great. And she also added in this bonus, because I did not ask for this or expect this. These are magnets of guitar amp magnets with the volume knobs on guitar amps look like, which I think is pretty cool. So that was a nice added bonus, so thank you, Jenny, for that. That was very kind of you, and I'm greatly appreciative. Next, we will go to this. Alright, so Thomas Pellman sent me a whole lot of Melanie stuff. We've seen it before in in one of my VCLT recent unboxing videos, back when I was doing full-on unboxings, and he blew my mind. Well, he said that he had to resend me 2 of the CDs because they were, because one of them, he put both albums on one CD, but they weren't working properly, he said, and this was even before I got the chance to get through it because he sent so much, so I'm still working my way through it. Well, he figured that out before I even knew, so props to you, I'm very impressed by that. But this is what albums those were, and they were The Garden in the City by Melanie and Please Love Me by Melanie. So I was just expecting those, but no, he did me one further. He had even more Melanie albums that he had not included in the first one that I'm getting now. So this would be 2001's These Nights. This would be 2002's Victim of the Moon. This would be a Borders, remember when Borders used to exist? That's where I bought my U2 Best of 1980 through 1990 CD when they were closing on their, the very last time I was ever at a Borders, I bought that CD at their closing sale. But anyway, this is a Borders exclusive release from 1999, Melanie recorded live, which is cool. And this is a DVD of Brand New Key Melanie, which I'm looking forward to it. These DVDs are going to be fantastic. I must also add that Beth over at B-Side Records sent me the Rocky 4 and Rocky 1 movies, and they were a DVD Blu-ray combo pack. And I was like, I'm excited to check out the DVDs, but I don't own a Blu-ray player, so I don't know what Blu-ray is like or anything like that. Well, I'm not going to show it in a video, it's already connected to my setup, but Thomas also sent me in this VCLT a Blu-ray player. He had a couple of them that he wasn't using, so he was very kind to do that. So now I'm collecting some Blu-rays, so I bought a handful of them. Maybe I'll talk some movies on this channel and too, and show some of those off. I don't know. But the last thing Thomas added into this VCLT were some DVDs. He included the Tower Records documentary, All Things Must Pass, which is the only DVD of all of these that I've ever seen the movie of before I was receiving these. So I'm very excited to have this on physical format. The videos of John Michael Montgomery, which is going to be cool because he's one of those 90s country artists I don't know a whole heck of a lot of. Of course, I know Life's a Dance. There was another song that I don't know the name of, but I always know it's John Michael Montgomery when I hear it. But life's a dance, you learn as you go. Sometimes you lead and sometimes you follow. Good stuff. Anyway, next he sent me a Buffy St. Marie Up Where We Belong DVD, which is very much so exciting. And then Bonnie Raitt, Road Tested. And Buffy St. Marie, I'm still getting to know. I heard a couple samples from some VC members, enjoyed it. Thomas also sent me a CD that I haven't gotten a chance to listen to as of the recording this, and I'm looking forward to checking out that DVD. And Bonnie Raitt, I know some things, but I don't know much, so that's going to be very nice to experience that. So thank you very much, Thomas, for that. Thank you very much to Jenny for the other thing. Thank you for the Vinyl Guru for letting me buy that other stuff. And then we got 2 more packages in this clip I'm going to show. This was this was a full-on VCLT. This was from Tony P over at 2 from the Trunk. He wanted to return the favor of me sending him some stuff, and I was more than accepting, of course. So, we'll show the vinyl records, and he also sent some 8 tracks, which is very exciting. So, first one was The Carpenters' Close to You. I'm ecstatic, because I own this album, but it's in terrible condition, as they generally are found, unfortunately. So, this is in immaculate shape. The record is in immaculate shape. I can't wait to spin this copy. Awesome. The next ones I really don't know too much about, but I'm excited to check out. This is David Essex, Rock On. And I believe Ray Cooper worked with him on this one. But yeah, David Essex, Rock On. This one I know the band, but I don't really know their music too well. This is Squeeze, East Side Story? Yeah, East Side Story. Yeah, unless I know the single, like some of the hits from it, from the Greatest Hits comp I've heard a couple times. Don't know it, but I'm very much so excited for it. This is a comp album of the big hits now on Dunhill A&M. This has like big Mama Cass or Mama Cass Elliott, B.B. King, Three Dog Night, Steppenwolf, to name a few. Good stuff. And then this is Through the Back Door, which is another comp album of various artists. So I look very much so forward to checking these out. And this is some new stuff that I didn't even know of. So thank you, Tony, for that. And then the 8 tracks, we'll just fly right through these. We got Still in Love with Each Other by Charlie Rich. We got Charlie Pride's Greatest Hits Volume 1. Statler Brothers, The Originals. We got Linda Ronstadt's Simple Dreams, one of my favorite Linda Ronstadt albums. The Carpenters Singles, 1969 to 73. Fantastic stuff. And then we got Helen Reddy, I Am a Woman. So I'm very much so looking forward to checking those out. Tony, thank you very much. And then next, I bought the next records from David Newton over at Unslightly Vinyl. Or, if you don't know, he does have a second channel called DTN2 Horror, which is all featured around horror movies, movie collectibles. Some of the stuff he posts on both channels, so if you're going to subscribe to Unslightly Vinyl, you'll see it on that channel as well, DTN2 Horror. Depending on the topic of the video, it suits both channels, so he puts it on both. But cool stuff, so check him out. But he's a good friend of mine, and he was doing a downsizing of his collection of things he doesn't really listen to, and he gave me first dibs, so I'm very thankful for it. And I'm going to start off right on the top of 2010's Grail album that I wanted on vinyl record and just never pulled the trigger to buy. No particular reason, I just haven't pulled the trigger. It's still, to my knowledge, fairly readily available, but this is The Weeknd. This is Beauty Behind the Madness. This came out my end of high school, beginning of college. In the Night, I Can't Feel My Face, The Hills. What else was a hit on this album? Earned It from the 50 Shades of Grey soundtrack. This is one of the best albums that came out of the 2010s, in my opinion. And I was so glad to get that Grail in my collection. Now I need it on CD. Next, we got Arctic Monkeys' Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino. David didn't like it. I didn't mind it. It's not anything like you're used to hearing Arctic Monkeys, generally speaking. It's kind of different, but it's not bad at the same time. And this is my first physical copy of any Arctic Monkeys release. I don't have anything on CD, cassette, or anything. But I would like to own some more on someday. I have them all on iTunes, or a lot of them on iTunes, so I was very excited to see this in there. Next, we got a Grail album, Herbie Hancock Grail. This would be Herbie Hancock's Future Shock. I had this on CD, needed it on vinyl record. This is known for the hit Rocket, which was a popular dance tune in the 80s, as well as, I think it was in a handful of movie soundtracks to that song, if I'm not mistaken. But Future Shock, you really can't go wrong. And I apologize, I'm just realizing now, I'm not pulling these out of the plastic sleeve, so I'm sorry for the glare and if I'm blinding you guys. I own this album already, 2 copies on MoFi, but this is an original pressing. Dark Side of the Moon. David said it's not in the best of condition. Yeah, there's a little ring wear, but that happens with these black album covers. I looked at the record itself. It looks like there's only surface stuff, so I'm going to clean it up to see how it sounds, but I'm very much still looking forward to having this. It doesn't have the inserts, but that's more than okay, and I knew that going into it. But an original pressing of Dark Side of the Moon for the price David offered it to me for, I was not going to pass it up. Next, we got Pacific Gas and Electric, Are You Ready? I don't know anything about this album, but I've seen this album cover around, and it's always intrigued me. And yeah, it looks like those like old school like 60s hop kind of like what you'd see at like a hop like for a commercial or something like that, or like the drive-in restaurant or something like that. I don't know. That's kind of what I envision, or like the 50s in that time. But cool stuff, and I'm very happy to check that out. And then next, I used to own this, purged it for whatever reason. Was looking for it a couple months ago. I had it on digital format on iTunes, but I was looking for it on vinyl, and I'm just like, well, shit, I got rid of it. Well, David had it. Freeze Frame by the Jay Giles Band. This had the hits Rage in the Cage, Freeze Frame, Centerfold, and Piss on the Wall. All great stuff. I have the 45 for Centerfold. It was one of the first 45s I ever owned. But yeah, I'm very thrilled to have this back into my collection. So that is the first part of what I have gotten recently. And off to the next section of this video. We're up close and personal for this. I forgot I didn't show this yet. This is the 3-inch of Johnny Cash's Cry, Cry, Cry. Do I have a 3-inch record player? No. Do I love Johnny Cash? Yes. Did I need this? No. But did I want it? Yes. So I got this, and maybe one day I will bite the bullet and buy the novelty that is the Crosley 3-inch record player. Another section of this video is getting recorded today, so woohoo! So I just got a collection. It's a smaller collection, but it's still a very valid one. So my living grandfather, the other day, called me and said, I got some records for you. I'm thinking, what records did you get? And he said, you remember my best friend whose wife just passed away? And I was like, yeah. He said he was about to throw them all away, and I made sure that I was able to grab them for you. So I was greatly appreciative and very thankful. And actually, when my grandfather brought him over, he actually got the chance to call him, so I got to thank my grandfather's friend personally, and he was very happy to hear how happy I was. When my grandfather first told me about it, I was expecting Chuck Berry or Elvis Presley or something like that. No. For like a 80-year-old something guy, I was kind of surprised at what was in here, because this is mainly 70s stuff and some heavy hitters. So I'll show you guys. The collection consisted of 78s, 45s, and 12 inches. And I am going to showcase some of the 78s and all of the 12 inches. When I finish going through the 45s, we'll go through those because there's the most of those, and I'm still going through them. However, it's very cool. And there are some doubles in here, and that's because some of them were my grandfather's friend and my grandfather's friend's sister. My grandfather's friend's sister passed away, I guess a couple years ago. But anyway, without any further ado, I'm going to show you some of the highlights of the 78s, because I'm not going to show all the 78s because they're not all worthwhile to show off, even though some of them I know, some of them I don't know anything about. But some of them that I think are really cool this is a doo-wop one. This is a Crew Cuts song, Shaboom. And I think that this is just killer. That you don't see that kind of stuff. I'm sure it's probably worth something if it was in better condition. I need to figure out how to clean these. 78s are the one things of these that I do not know how to clean, but they're still pretty cool. This one is a Patty Page one. This one is Mama from the Train, and Every Time I Feel His Spirit. So I assume one of them is a spiritual and then the other one is not. That's on Mercury, which is pretty cool. Got some Frank Sinatra ones here. The House I Live In, America the Beautiful. Another Sinatra, It's the Same Old Dream, and the Brooklyn Bridge. And these ones are all in Columbia. This is a Frank Sinatra, You're My Girl, and Can't You Just See for Yourself. And this one is probably the one that blew me away the most out of all of these 78s that I'm going to show you here. Nat King Cole Trio. Back then it was called the King Cole Trio. The Christmas song, Merry Christmas to You, on the black Capitol label. And then the B-side is In the Cool of the Evening, which is apparently an instrumental based on what this says. It's a little beaten, but maybe with some cleaning I can do it. And getting these 78s, I don't know if you're watching, Jeff Kempen, but don't worry, I have not forgotten about the 78s I want to send your way. I just have to get the chance to go through them. But I have not forgotten about you if you are watching, just so you know. And then I have this little 7-inch 78 RPM one. This is one of those Peter Pan records. It features Nothing for Christmas and Jolly Old St. Nicholas. I really love that artwork on that 78 there. I think that's really nice. So off to the 12 inches. I said I wasn't going to show any 7 inches, but this one is one that I'm going to show because this one's kind of cool. This is another one from Peter Pan Records. And this features 4 Halloween-esque tunes. It's the Monster Mash, Saturday Evening Ghost, Swinging Head, Be Careful, It's My Throat. So I don't know if this is the original Boris Karloff version of Monster Mash and then the other stuff, or Bobby Pickett in the Crypt Kickers. I can't remember who did it at the moment, but I don't know if it's the original version of the tunes or if these are like unique for this version, but I've never seen a 45 RPM 7-inch record come in that before, so I thought that was cool. So I guess I lied. I'm going to show 145 for this. So, alright. Now off to the 12 inches. Now a lot of these I have. Some of these are doubles already within the collection itself. For example, Aerosmith Night in the Ruts. We got 2 of those. We got the Broadway version of the soundtrack to Annie. We got the Bay City Rollers, and I'm going to show all the 12 inches. This had to hit Saturday Night by the Bay City Rollers. We got the Beach Boys Little Deuce Coupe. It's not an original because you can see it has a gold award logo there, but it's still worthwhile. If I'm not mistaken, this is on the Yellow Capitol. Yeah, Yellow Capitol. So, but I'm still excited to have that because I did not have that in my collection. And what were the songs on this one? This had 409, Spirit of America, Little Deuce Coupe, Be True to Your School. I believe those were the only hits off that one. But I'm very excited to have that. Beach Boys, Spirit of America. This was one of the very first records I actually got in my collection. However, it only had one of the LPs in it. And when I was going through my records about a year or so ago, I pulled this out to listen to, realized it was only one, trashed it. The covers was in beaten crap condition anyway. This one's all around better. This is just a really cool, has really cool artwork for that one. So, Spirit of America. Unfortunately, it has side 1 and 4 on one and 2 and 3 on another, but that's okay. We still have the tunes anyway. Bee Gees' Greatest. I was actually looking for a copy of this one day, but never found it, never pulled the trigger. Has a copy of the 3 Gibbs. And yeah, I have a decent amount of Bee Gees already, but this is a good comp to have anyway. I don't have that on any format, and I was actually looking for that on CD, but I'm glad to have it on vinyl record. We got Billy Joel's The Stranger. We all know The Stranger. We all know Billy Joel's 52nd Street. We got Glass Houses by Billy Joel, which I personally find to be a very underrated Billy Joel album comparatively compared to his other works. At least of his more well-known and popular works. This is one of my top 5 Billy Joel albums in my opinion. You may be right. I might be crazy. But anyway, I already have this. This is Captain Tennille. It had to hit Muskrat Love on it if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, nothing too crazy. I wasn't even going to keep my first copy, but my dad enjoyed it so much when I was listening to it to check it out. He's like, you should keep that. And I was like, okay, I'll keep it for you, Pops. So, next we got the debut album from The Cars. This one has the shrink wrap and hype sticker. For anybody who knows me and my channel, I don't really care about that. But either way, it is cool to see the hype sticker, though. But, yeah, I had the debut album, but maybe it's an upgrade. We'll find out. But this is a Cars album that I did not have in my collection on vinyl record. This is what, Candy-O? Yeah, Candy-O. Cool cover art. Yeah, I have this digitally, but I don't have it in physical format. I think Let's Go was a hit, Candy-O was a hit. And I think those are the only hits off this album, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember offhand. But this is Elektra 1979. Good album, glad to have that. Now, this is one of the first albums that I saw pulled out and my jaw hit the floor. Most people probably don't give a crap about this album, and I fully understand, but for me, I was very excited to get this. This is Dawn. And this is the album, what is it, Canadia? Yeah, Canadia. I believe that's how it's pronounced. And I don't know if this is just Dawn or if this is some of the stuff that they did with Tony Orlando. But as it says on the cover, it has the hit song Knock 3 Times on it, which is my favorite song by this group. Anybody knock 3 times on the window. It's so fun. It's one of those songs that I can blast and it puts me in a damn good mood every time. This is on Bell, and this was one of them. I mean, I was excited about all of them, but this was one of the more exciting ones because I have actually been wanting that for a good long time. We got Fleetwood Mac's Rumors. Nothing special. We all know about Rumors. We got Foreigner Double Vision, and I don't recall. I think it was more of a greener cover than I'm used to seeing. So I think this might be an album variant. I don't know if they have various album cover variants for this album, but I gotta compare it because I believe Emma at 8 Vinyl Low VCLT'd me a copy of this already. So I believe I have this in my collection as it is. So I'll have to see the album cover, but it has the hype sticker, which is always cool. As I said, I don't love the shrink wrap, but I think it's cool to see hype stickers. That one doesn't have the shrink wrap like this one does, but this one does. Head Games. This is one I don't have on any format. This is one of the few Foreigner studio albums I don't even have on CD. But yeah, Dirty White Boy and Head Games were the big hits off this one. And yeah, I've never heard this album in its entirety, so I'm very much so looking forward to that. We got a reissue copy of The Grateful Dead, Working Man's Dead, and I know it's a reissue because it has that label. This one I have in my collection. I have an early to original press of this, but this one already has a very happy home it's going to be going to in the near future. We got the Grease soundtrack. We got Jackson Browne's Hold Out. I hear good things about this album, but it's one that I would have never picked out on my own, so it's going to be cool to see that. We got a Lookin' Sharp by Joe Jackson. We got 2 copies of Get the Knack by The Knack. This is another one of those albums. Emma over at 8 Vinyl Low and Tim over at High Noon's Vinyl talks quite highly of this album. I know the song My Sharona. This is one of those albums that I see all the time, but just for whatever reason never picked up. And for all I know, I may never have unless I got it in my hand like this or in a VCLT. But I've been wanting to check it out, so I'm glad to do it. Supposedly this is very, very good power pop, and I look forward to checking it out. Now these next 3 were some of them that blew me out of the water just as much as some of the other, these other ones, and these are some of them that I was like, why does an 80-something-year-old have this? So we got an early pressing of Kiss's Love Gun. I just got the 2014 reissue for my birthday from Chris Prophy. That sounds phenomenal, and many people have told me that that is the best sounding copy of that album. So I'm very curious to compare it to this. I'm keeping both copies either way. This one does not have the Love Gun in it, insert, but my reissue does, so I want to have the reissue. And quite frankly, if the reissue sounds better than this one, I truly might just sell this one. We'll find out. We got some solo albums. We got Ace's solo album, and we got Gene's solo album. So 2 out of 4 ain't bad. We got the C album cover variant. I believe this is cover variant C. Yeah, C variant cover of Into the Outdoor by Led Zeppelin. We got Get Lucky by Loverboy. This is now back in my collection. This was one of the earlier albums I bought, but I purged. Had to hit Working for the Weekend on it. Fun stuff. We got the Marshall Tucker Band, Running Like the Wind. Yeah, I don't really know Marshall Tucker Band too well, so we'll check that out. We got an original pressing of Meatloaf's Bad Outta Hell. We got Olivia Newton-John's Greatest Hits. I actually just VCLT'd this to Dylan over at the Record Spinner. Now I had it back in my collection. Even though it's probably going to be VCLT'd again because I don't really need Olivia Newton-John's Greatest Hits, but that's just my personal opinion. And this is Totally Hot by Olivia Newton-John. I already have this one, but we'll see if this is an upgrade. My uncle had this in his collection. This is In the Eyes of the Storms. In the Eye of the Storm by the Outlaws. This one is cool. This is the Young Rascals. This is, doesn't have a title, it looks like. Yeah. Doesn't have a title, but has a bunch of their hits on it. Oh, it also features the Four Seasons, the Bugs, and Johnny Rivers. I did not know that, but good to know. So yeah, it says, it has, some of their hits from those guys. Not bad. We got 2 copies of REO Speedwagon's High Infidelity. So now I think I have 4 of these in my possession at the moment. We have the Rolling Stones, Some Girls. This is one of those albums. I love this album. However, I never bought it because I was always looking for the Marilyn Monroe cover that's not censored, such as this cover. But, you know what? The music plays the same. So I was very excited to have this. It has the original Enter, which is pretty cool. And now I could hear Beast of Burden and Miss You on vinyl record. This one was exciting. And I actually didn't even pull out the record to see what it looks like. Okay, this is a Mercury copy. So this is a either reissue or just US pressing. I'm not sure if the Moon label ever got to the first album in the US. One of my fellow Canadians or Dylan over the record spinner or someone could tell me. But yeah, I've actually never heard this album in its entirety. So this is my 3rd Rush album I own on vinyl record. So I'm very excited to check that out. We have Sonny and Cher live. Yeah. We got a comedy album. This is Steve Martin, or I believe that this is a comedian. I believe this is a comedy album. So, yeah, cool stuff. We got 2 copies of not Rush's, we got Styx's Cornerstone album. So that's cool. So we'll be checking that out. I have that on CD, but I do not have it on vinyl record. We got Supertramp Breakfast in America. The Kids Are Alright by The Who. This is a compilation album. I don't know if this was this is a soundtrack to a movie. So it's their music, but it's pretty much a comp album of their works. The Xanadu soundtrack featuring Olivia Newton-John and Electric Light Orchestra. And we got Diana Ross and the Supremes with Neil Diamond. This seems to be like some sort of live album. It's a collaboration of Motown and Uni, which were the respective labels of both acts. Uni was an MCA-based label, if I'm not mistaken, and Motown is Motown. So yeah, that'll be interesting hearing both of them in one, because I don't really ever think of them together. And then finally in this one, and as I said, I'm not going to show any 45s this time around. This is Dialogues in Democracy, Volume 3. This is, I believe, a 3 LP set. I don't know anything about this, haven't looked too much into it. It looks like it's a bunch of court cases. Because it says at the cover, it has the Supreme Court in American Life, the Supreme Court at Work, and the Supreme Court of the United States. So I assume it's some dialogue and verdicts from various court cases. I truly, unless you're a history teacher, truly don't know why you would have this. Unless it's a memorial album of some sort that I don't know, similar to those JFK ones, which those JFK ones are pretty dang cool. So, but that's what I got in this collection. And now off to the next section of this video. Next part of the whole video. Woohoo! Alright, so the first thing I'm going to show, I did not even know it was shipped yet because I was supposed to get a shipping confirmation number that I never got. However, I knew it was coming in September at some point, so. But I got Run the Jewels 4. Oh yes. So, this came out on digital format a long time ago on Spotify, a long time ago, but I waited. I wanted to hear it for the first time on physical format. The Run the Jewel pre-order, this variant is supposed to be pink, so I'm very much so looking forward to that. Next, Record Store Day. I personally did not go to Record Store Day for 2 reasons. One, I'm not really too concerned about going out in public with the pandemic at this point, at least where I am in the country, because things are fairly okay and safe, generally speaking, where I am currently, as of this month. And currently, New Jersey has been fairly fortunate in that regard currently. However, I do not want to congregate in big crowds still, or potential big crowds. That on top of the record store I would have gone to for Record Store Day this year is not doing it this year, given the fact that it's a whole weird new system, and also for the same situation is not wanting to do crowds. It is a smaller store, Station 1, so. And the record store I used to go to before that moved. I actually did just recently go to that location, and in another segment of this video I'll show what I got there. Spin me around. I finally got to go to their PA location recently, but they're far away. Princeton Record Exchange is a little bit of a hassle to get to in the mornings because of traffic and construction work that is going on in some areas that I would have to drive through. On top of, I know me, as many of us are, not very good at controlling our spending sometimes. So I was not going to just stick to record store day stuff. I was going to either overspend at record store day exclusives. If I didn't do that with that, I would have done it with the other stuff. And with the whole struggling with the job thing, I do have a job now in retail. It's not the best, but $11 an hour is better than no dollars an hour. I'm still looking for my music business job, but that is better than nothing. But still kind of want to be careful with finances, even though, as I said in my channel announcement video, the one that went up before this, before the break, I am financially stable, but I still want to be careful and precautious anyway. But anyway, that was long and winded. Pretty much what I'm saying is that I still got to go to get record store day stuff without going. One of them I bought on Discogs. It was my very first Discogs purchase, so yay me. And then the other two, were from Mariken Lehman. She picked them up for me, and I paid her back for them. And it pretty much forced me not to overspend because I wasn't browsing, I wasn't looking. So, thank you, Mariken, once again for that. You're a great person. I'm very greatly appreciative of that. And the two main record store day releases I wanted, she was able to get the one on Discogs. I saw the record store day videos, and then I got intrigued by it. I wasn't wanting to get it, but then I got it because Dylan over at the Record Spinner saw it for a good price after I said to the group chat, now I'm thinking about getting that, and I'm just like, don't let me do it. And then Dylan sends me a link where it's $20 for the one David Bowie release, and I'm just like, well, I guess I'm buying that now. So anyway, I'm talking a whole lot here. Pretty much this is what I got. I got Billie Eilish Live at Third Man, which I wanted this back when they had the painted stuff that Billie Eilish did, because I guess at the time no one knew it was going to be released on Record Store Day, but here it is. This is actually the only Record Store Day release I've opened so far. And it's on blue wax, which is pretty freaking cool. I did not know that until I read the hype sticker, and actually, quite frankly, neither did Mariken, so that was cool. So I'm very excited to have that. And the other one that she picked up for me was Jethro Tull's Stormwatch 2. Stormwatch 2 pretty much features early takes and demo takes and a few live pieces from the Jethro Tull Stormwatch recording sessions and the tour that they did for this in regards to the live stuff. I have a feeling that I most likely have a lot of this stuff already with the 40th anniversary box set I have on CD of this stuff. But look how pretty it is. I needed it. And I really did. So, awesome. Very much so looking forward to that. I had Mariken once again to thank for that. She picked those up at Mellow Mats, which is her favorite record store by where she is. And I couldn't be more thankful. Now, a Discogs seller in Florida had this available for sale for $20. And I was like, well, okay. I don't know what this was retailing for, but you know what? That didn't seem like it was too price gougy anyway. And, well, Dylan sent it to the group chat for me, and, well, I instantly bought it. So, to my knowledge, this is recordings for at one of his birthday parties, I believe, in the 90s. These are live recordings of some of his hits, such as The Man Who Sold the World, Aladdin Sane, Lady Stardust, Andy Warhol, Quicksand, just to name a few. This is called Changes Now Bowie, which is a play on Changes 1 Bowie and Changes 2 Bowie. But yeah, I'm looking forward to giving all these a spin, and that's what I got for this section of the video. Alright, Vinyl Peeps, next part of my recent finds. So I said in the last segment I'm going to be showing you what I got at Spin Me Around. So let's get to it. I'm going to show all but one record, because one record and one CD I did buy for a VCLT. And I got it. They look like they're in good condition, and I hope that they are in fact in good condition. I'm going to play them before I send them out like I generally do. Fun fact, if you don't know, 9 times out of 10 I play the records and make in the CDs and everything I send out to make sure they play before I send them off. Usually. But yeah, so I'll show the CDs first. I didn't take any of the priced stickers off yet, but I will be doing that. So the first one I got was the soundtrack to the Broadway cast recording. I believe it was 2002, 2003, if I'm not mistaken. 2002, for the Broadway soundtrack to Hairspray. This was one of my early introductions to Broadway. Had a couple shows in late elementary school, and then it kind of wasn't until high school where I was introduced to more Broadway shows. This one was one of the earliest. I believe I was introduced to this sophomore year of high school. Loved it. It's fantastic. Great soundtrack. Been wanting that for years. Glad to finally have it in my collection. And they are actually releasing this on vinyl record for the first time. So I might end up picking that up too. Finances allowing. Next, I got music from and inspired by the motion picture of Marvel's Avengers Assemble. This is not one of the Avengers movies I've seen yet. But these Marvel soundtracks, both the music inspired from and the scores themselves, you don't find often unless you get it right as the movie comes out. And then once they are, they skyrocket in price, even the CDs. Why, I don't know. So if I'm being completely honest, until I got this home, I actually thought this was a score. But it's the music from and inspired, which is fine. It has like Papa Roach, Soundgarden, Shine Down, Buck Cherry, Five Finger Death Punch, Evanescence, to name a couple. Black Veil Brides, some Rise Against, most of these bands I know and have heard at least something from. So even though it wasn't the score like I was anticipating, I want to get all the Marvel movie scores because they're some of my favorite movie scores, but I don't own a single one yet. I'm still happy to have this. I can't complain about it. Next, I got the music that was in the film of Batman Forever. I've seen this actually multiple times on CD, both promo, gold stamp promos, and the standard edition like this, and I'd never seen the movie, never felt a need to buy it, but DJ Funk sent me that 4-pack of the first 4 Batman movies, starting with the 1989 release through Batman and Robin, and yeah, check this out, and supposedly all of the songs were featured in the motion picture. I've only seen the movie once, so I can't truly remember all the songs, but I believe that 1 or 2 of these songs on here were some of the biggest hits for the artists featured on this. So, but I was excited to have that. Next, I got Randy Travis, Heroes and Friends. This I got on vinyl record from Jeff Kempen. Loved it. I did not know what to expect. I had never even heard of this release until I got it from Jeff. But it's 1 or 2 original tunes of just Randy Travis singing, and then as the title actually doesn't, and friends implies he's with some friends. So he has like people like Dolly Parton on here, Merle Haggard, Willie Nelson, Loretta Lynn, to name a couple. B.B. King, I believe, is on here. Very good album. I did not have high hopes for that album, truly, but it blew me out of the water, and I love every moment. And next, I believe this is the debut album for Collective Soul. It's Hints, Allegations, Things Left Unsaid. Yeah. So, I got that. Always heard good things. I know it had a record store release a couple within the past year or 2, I believe, on like Red Wax. But, you know, I just got it on CD, and I was almost going to buy a brand new copy on Amazon recently, but I ended up seeing that for $1. Can't go wrong. Now, the first vinyl record I'm going to show you put me over my budget for this record trip, but quite frankly, it was worth it because this is the first time I've ever seen this album in the wild. I've never seen an original. I've never seen a reissue. I've never seen any copy of this album on CD, vinyl record, cassette, period. I've never seen it in the wild, and it is one of my highest grails. And for the price they were asking, which I'll fully tell you, they only wanted $13 for this, and this is an original press and in VG Plus near mint condition. The cover has a little ring wear, but the media, the vinyl itself is fantastic. The Jackson's 5, ABC. I've wanted this for such a long time on any format, but vinyl record, you find these originals and they're sky-high prices. And not to knock on Spin Me Around, but generally their prices are either fair or higher. They're generally never on the cheaper end. So to see this for this price, I was very happy, and I've always been a fan of Spin Me Around, and it was nice to go back and find a grail there. ABC was probably the biggest hit off this album, but truly I've never even heard this album in its entirety because I was waiting for it to find a physical format. And of course it is fantastic because it is on Motown. Next, I have a record that I bought, and it was inspired by Vinyl Talk with Tavis. And you know what? This is one that I'm very happy to be the one that is starting me off with in regards to this band, because I have only heard great things about this band, and the samples I've checked out on Spotify were fantastic. Apparently it has a seam split on the bottom, which is okay. I could try to... Well, eventually I'll buy Seams Easy strips, so it'll be taken care of then. But we got the Jones Girls, At Peace with Woman. So, Tavis, you're the inspiration behind why I have this in my collection. This does not have the Egypt song like I thought it did on it, but that is okay. This was the only Jones Girls album they had, so I was just happy to pick up any of them. I want them all one day. Not only you're talking about them before doing the interview with Shirley, but then the Shirley interview, it was just fantastic. So, the Jones Girls, At Peace with Woman, and I can't wait to spin that. That's not one I've heard. And then the next album was inspired by DJ Funk. DJ Funk has definitely had a very high impact on my musical taste this year. DJ Funk and Shannon D have had the most impact on my musical taste this year, I'll tell you. And this is a band by the name of Clear, Taste the Music. And I sampled a little bit from every album by Clear as I was watching the DJ Funk video showcasing Clear. Some albums I enjoyed some stuff from more than others, but I saw Clear and jumped. I can't remember which ones I liked more than others, but you know what? I don't care. I was thrilled to have a Clear album in my collection to continue my funk and soul journey. And man, oh man, is this going to be a great addition, I'll tell you. So that's what I got from Spin Me Around. And then next, I want to showcase something that I got not recently, but it was actually at the end of August, but I forgot to show it in an earlier clip. So here we are now. And this is just the Woodstock 50th anniversary box set from Rhino Records. Dylan over at the Record Spinner, I am in fact sporting his merch today. He had told the youngest people at the VC about the Rhino Insider Club, and then he ended up doing a video talking about it somewhere. And then he alerted the VC about it. And pretty much Rhino Insider, it's in beta at the moment, but pretty much you do various tasks, and then you get to rack up points, and you can redeem them for various prizes. Well, this is the prize I ended up redeeming as my first prize. It is a 5 LP box set. If I'm not mistaken, 5 LP, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 5 LP box set with various tunes from the thing. It's very nicely put together. It comes with a booklet and the 5 LPs. It did come in polyline sleeves, although I did put them in the MoFi -invest in vinyl whatever, the rice paper sleeves, because I'm anal and I do that, even with the polylined ones. On the back, within the shrink wrap, it had this, which is the track listing for all of them. Richie Havens, Arlo Guthrie, Country Joe and the Fish, Santana, Joan Baez, some Canned Heat, some Grateful Dead, CCR, Janis Joplin, just to name a handful of them. And you know, it's just highlighting some of the best performances, and I haven't listened to this yet upon recording this, but it's highlighting some of the best performances. But you know, even with that said, there's some essential acts on here that aren't here. The biggest one, in my opinion, probably being Jimi Hendrix. Not a single Jimi Hendrix thing is featured on this release, which kind of surprises me. But you know what? for free, and it's a $120 value I got for free. I can't complain, and you know what? It's intended as highlighting anyway. And this has, I don't know if you're able to hear that, but that has a magnetic thing in there, so. And yeah, has a nice book that has not come out of the shrink yet. I saved the hype sticker in here. It's in here somewhere, but yeah, all of them come with their custom little records here. It's not an unboxing video, but yeah. So that's some more stuff that I have recently gotten. All right, final people, next segment. This video is starting to get long here, and we're only, well, this segment is being recorded on September 12th, so you have a little bit of a ways to go still, but we're almost there. At least finishing up this haul. And what's nice about haul videos is, even though I don't encourage it, it's easy to skip through and see what people got anyway. But anyway, so in this segment I got 2 VCLTs to show, and I also have some of those 45s from that collection that my grandfather's friend had given him here. Now, there's hundreds of 45s. There's probably 250, 300 45s, if I had to guess. So I'm pretty much going to show you guys the ones in the picture sleeves only. And a lot of them, almost all of them had sleeves. A handful of them had the generic ones. A couple of them had these. So this is ABBA's Dancing Queen. It has the official Atlantic sleeve, except it isn't a picture sleeve. But there was a lot of them like this. Casablanca, there was like Kiss's Calling Dr. Love, and one of Ace's solo works with the Casablanca, one of these. A lot of them like this, but you can't really tell what it is unless I shove it in your face like this. Handful of good things, handful of ass things, but a lot of them came like this. But for demonstration and showing purposes, I figured show you guys the stuff with the photos, because that's probably the stuff that you're going to resonate with most. And most of these I know, a handful of them I don't. I know all the artists, I just might not know their specific tune. For example, I think I recognize this tune, but I'm not sure, but I most certainly know the artist. Andy Gibb from the Bee Gees, of course, also had a solo career. I Just Want to Be Your Everything with the B-side, In the End. I think I know the A-side, but I can't remember. I'd have to hear it to know, but we got that. We got Bad Company's Rock and Roll Fantasy from the Desolation Angels album, with the B-side is Crazy Circles, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, Crazy Circles. So, there's Bad Company. We got Captain and Tennille, You Never Done It Like That. And apparently this is from their album Dream, which I had never heard of. I believe the B-side is D Keyboard Blues. Yeah, D Keyboard Blues. That's what the Dream album by Captain Tennille looks like, apparently. I've only seen these 2 Captain Tennille ones right here. In fact, I own both of them. So yeah, there's that. We got Daryl Hall and John Oates' Rich Girl with the B-side of London, Luck and Love. This is from the album Bigger Than Both of Us, which I probably would know if I saw it, but I don't know what it looks like offhand. But I'm a rich girl, or whatever the song goes. We got the single for Tusk, and I believe the B-side is Never Make Me Cry, my mistake. You know, the album Tusk by Fleetwood Mac as a whole is a very underrated album. I enjoy it just as much as everything else that people always talk about, like Tango in the Night, Mirage, and Rumors. Yeah, it's a double LP, it's longer, but I think Tusk is just as strong, if not ever so slightly stronger than those. I don't know if it beats Rumors, but you know what I'm trying to say. Next, this was exciting. This is one of the few this is the only double 45 I have in my personal collection. I have a double, like my grandfather had one, and then I had it, but this is the first official double 45 that I've accumulated 2 copies of, and I am, in fact, keeping both of them. This would be another Brick in the Wall Part 2 with one of my turns on B-side by Pink Floyd. I love the custom label on this one. Melinda Murphy got me my first copy. It was she got a copy of it. I said, yeah, I've been looking for a copy for that for a while. She said if she ever sees it again, she'd send it my way, and she did. And now I have this copy, and I'm keeping them both. That's one that's worth holding on to both copies. Queen. This is We Are the Champions with the B-side of We Will Rock You, which kind of surprised me. I would have thought We Will Rock You would be the first song, and We Are the Champions would be the second one because that's how it is on the album. And I thought that We Will Rock You was actually ever so slightly more popular, but that is not the case. But yeah, the jacket for this one has seen better days, but hey, I rarely ever see Queen's 45s, period, especially in the original picture sleeve. Next, we got Rod Stewart, Do You Think I'm Sexy? This is one of those classic Rod Stewart albums I had not heard. And what is the B-side on this one? Sacred and Scared. I know the song Do You Think I'm Sexy, but I do not know Sacred and Scared, because as I said, I've never heard the album Blondes Have More Fun, which is the album this comes from, which is actually the same exact album cover as this 45 single. But, yeah. Next, we got the single for War. Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? Why can't... Oh, man, good stuff. And what's the B-side? The B-side is... In Maziltan. I don't know. I've never heard this Why Can't We Be Friends album in its entirety. I've literally heard those two songs, unless there was another hit off that album that I'm not aware of. The only studio album that I've heard by War so far is The World Is a Ghetto. And this one excited me. This was great. Listen to What the Man Said by Paul McCartney and Wings from, you guessed it, my favorite album by them, Venus and Mars. And Love in Song is the B-side, and that is just fantastic. There was a Ringo Starr single in there, songs from the Goodnight Vienna album. I can't remember what songs offhand, but yeah. And as I said, there was a whole bunch of them like this, and a couple of them with plain sleeves, and like maybe 5 without any sleeve at all. I was very impressed with the only no sleeves. There was a handful of like just for example's sake, like the Peter Pan records and the Disneyland 45s, which are cool, but just not much to show. Next, I'm going to show 2 VCLTs I got here. The first one is from Mr. Elliot Cruz, and he sent me these following albums. Jesse Colin Young, Love on the Wing. This is the only album that I was not familiar with in any way, shape, or form. It's on Warner Brothers. It's a 70s release, I believe 77. Yes, 1977. He has them in the back here like that, so that's how I see that. I assume it's country, folk, western. I'm not sure. I haven't actually, upon recording this, hadn't heard back from Elliot in regards to what that is. And I also haven't spun it yet, so. But anyway, the next 3 I kind of assumed I was getting when he said, I want to send you something, but I wasn't sure, because in one of his most recent videos, he got a collection. And he showed the things that he was holding on to and the stuff that he was not holding on to. And I always comment, hey, that's something I've been looking for. Oh, I think that's cool, this, that, and the other thing. And not that I expect people to send me stuff, but in this case, Elliot did, and I'm greatly appreciative. And one of these is a Grail album. Grail in regards of the disco genre, and that would be Bad Girls by Donna Summer. I never see this in good condition the few times I see it, and man, oh man, is this good. Donna Summer, looking for some hot stuff, and oh yeah. Oh yeah. Beautiful gatefold, as I said, double LP. Elliot has these nice clear sleeves. I don't know where you get these sleeves because I've never truly seen these sleeves before. However, oh, it looks like there's a Chester hair in here. His doggo Chester. I have a piece of Chester with me now. Cool. But, yeah. This album is one of my favorite disco albums of all time. One of my favorite, well, it is my favorite Donna Summer album, unless you consider Comps and then the, like, On the Radio Volumes 1 and 2 Greatest Hits, or whatever that one is called. Next is one I'm very excited about. This is the second album I own by this artist, and this one I assume is an original press because it has an embossed cover. Hissing of Summer Lawns by Joni Mitchell. The only other Joni Mitchell album I own on vinyl record is Ladies of the Canyon, and Shannon D has been talking so highly of Joni and talking about all her stuff, and I'm just hooked. I have always enjoyed, for the most part, Joni's works. I just never have really went out of my way to buy stuff. Shannon sent me some stuff. I'm exploring on my own. Elliot now hooked me up. I am so thrilled, and I look forward to checking it out. And then next, this album I had seen before in the wild. And then when me and the youngest people of the VC, which at that time was only me, Emma, and Dylan, we had a video about the year 1974. And this is one Emma showed. The Average White Band. And there was a hit or two off this album. I can't remember what it was that she spoke of. But ever since, I've been on the lookout for it. And I've seen it once or twice, but I've passed it up because, well, I don't have an explanation. I just did. And now I have it in my collection, and I'm very thrilled. So that is what Elliot sent me. Elliot, thank you once again. I'm greatly appreciative of you. And then next, Rachel the Music Man has sent me a VCLT of 2 Canadian records. Doucette is this one. I not really like this cover. I like the cards. Everything with like cards on it always interests me, like playing cards. I don't know why. And poker chips. Something about those kind of covers always intrigue me. The Deuce is Loose is the name of that record. And then based on her description of what she told me, this is one of the solo acts from the Guess Who, Bert Cummings, On My Own Way to Rock. So I'm looking forward to checking that out. I don't know much about the Guess Who or all that, especially not the band members' names. I didn't know who this was until I asked her. And yeah, I have 2 Guess Who comps, but as I said, I don't know much Guess Who. And she sent her note in this cool, like, memorial Canadian Battle of Britain Squadron of September 1st, 1984. Commemorative, I guess, collectible, rare envelope commemorating that. I don't know my history on that, so I truly couldn't tell you much about it. But I am appreciative of both you, Rachel, and Elliot, for sending me these. Thank you very much. I got a few more things in this update video. Yeah. Alright guys, so what do I got in this section? Well, I got a VCLT, and the reason I'm air quoting it is because I paid for it. And then I have one more thing to show on top of that. So, AGK's Vinyl Life, also known as Anthony K, from Canada, he was doing a pre-Record Store Day drop, August of 2020 video with his friend Rick. I believe Rick is his name. Yes, Rick. I have the receipt from the record store here. So Rick is the record store owner, and Anthony and Rick were going over some of the new arrivals for the Record Store Day August drop. Of course, nobody could buy them yet, but just showing a few things to look forward to at that record stop. And Anthony made note to let the YouTube world know, and people in the local area, to him, that that record shop has a whole ton, and I mean a whole ton. Go watch his video. There's a whole ton of old Record Store Day releases. I don't think I've ever seen an old Record Store Day releases like section like that ever. And I just am jaw-dropped. There's not a whole heck of a lot of Record Store Day releases that either, 1, I didn't get to grab, or 2, regret not picking up. Well, 2 of them, and there was 1 or 2 others, but I am not made of money, and the exchange rates, I didn't know at that time what things would cost. But I just commented on to his video saying, looking forward to your Record Store Day haul. There are a few things that actually interest me of that Record Store Day stuff that I never got. And Anthony said he'd message me on Discord or Instagram, one of them, and we ended up messaging. And the one Record Store Day release here, I didn't actually get to go to this Record Store Day because I was at a Dream Theater concert. And the other one, at the time, finances, I had a set limit to myself, and if I bought this, I would have gone over my limit. And it wasn't high on my want list, even though quickly, as people started talking about it, it did. But let's go to the first one that is from the day I didn't get to get anything because I was at a Dream Theater concert. So this is Sage and Spirit by Grateful Dead. And this is just a bunch of, to my knowledge, just a bunch of live recordings of some of their tunes. Sugar Magnolia, Lost Sailor, Saint of Circumstance. Actually, no. They're not all live stuff. Excuse me. Actually, most of these are studio. Because it indicates on here. See, I'm just pulling this out and looking at it in detail now on camera for you guys. So there's 2 live things. Jack Straw and Brown Eyed Woman are the live ones on here, which were originally both on the Europe of 72. This is pretty much just a comp album. So, Sugar Magnolia from American Beauty, Eyes of the World from Wake of the Flood, Lost Sailor, which was not on any Grateful Dead release, Saint of Circumstance, which was from Go to Heaven, High Time from Working Man's Dead, Satan's Spirit, named the release as well, from Blues for Allah, Jack Straws I just mentioned, Unbroken Chain from the Mars Hotel album, Brown Eyed Woman from Europe 72 again, and If I Had the World to Give from Shakedown Street. Shakedown Street, by the way, is an extremely underrated Grateful Dead album. Sure, it's considered their disco album, but man, is it good. And, well, Fire on the Mountain is my favorite Grateful Dead tune. So, maybe I'm biased, but this was produced by David Lemix, and this was in partnership with Dogfish Head, if I'm not mistaken. But, yeah, this, and for those who don't know who David Lennox is, you know those Dave's Picks? He's pretty much the archivist of the Grateful Dead now that Dick, I forget Dick's last name at the moment, had passed away. So Dave has been there ever since. And then the other Record Store Day release that I could have bought the time it came out, but I didn't end up grabbing it. And that would be Alice Cooper, $1 Billion Babies Live from Houston, Texas, April of '73. This has a whole bunch of live stuff from that tour, as well as a 7-inch. This was all recorded on April 28th, 1973. The 7-inch is School's Out and Under My Wheels, and that just says that on the hype sticker because that's nowhere on the back cover. But yeah, Hello Hooray, $1 Billion Babies, Elected on 18, No More Mr. Nice Guy, Dead Babies, I Love the Dead, just to name a few of the songs on here. This is one of the... This is understandable I didn't get to go to the record store, but this one I was kicking myself for not getting, so I'm so thrilled to have that. Anthony, thank you once again for hooking me up with these. I'm greatly appreciative of you and everybody who's ever been kind to me here in a VC. And next, this is one of the, I bought this, 2 VCLTs, and a couple Halloween movies with some Discover Cashback bonus money, dash gift card, Amazon stuff. And the only music thing I got would be the original motion picture soundtrack to The Conjuring that was done by Joseph Bichera, which in actual releases of the actual movies, this is the first of the Conjuring universe. However, it is like the 4th movie if you're going chronologically. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it's the 4th because I believe it's The Nun, then 2 of the Annabelle movies, and then I believe it goes this. I can't remember which Annabelles are in what order, but I believe it's like Annabelle Creation and then Annabelle and then this. I think I'm still learning the order of the movie. I'm still actually watching them all. I haven't seen them all yet. Some of them were actually what I bought. But yeah, I don't have many modern horror soundtracks. I don't have a lot of horror soundtracks, period. That's something I've been improving on, but this one is the most modern one I have, and it's some cool stuff. So that's what I got to show for you guys, and off to the next section of this video. Alright guys, this is the final installment clip, whatever you want to call it, to the recent finds of the end of August through September. Yes, it's going up a little early before the end of September, but I'm not anticipating getting a whole heck of a lot much more this month. So, anyway, let's have at it. So, I've pretty much budgeted out what I'm personally spending for the rest of the year in regards to music and record stores and everything. So, I will be getting some records in that have been pre-ordered that are going to go into the October haul, and based on the type of records they are a little bit more appropriate for October anyway, so hint hint. But yeah, other than that, I'm not expecting anything else coming in as of this moment that has been ordered or purchased for any time soon. I think November is when other things are coming out that I've pre-ordered. But anyway, I did one of my final Amazon orders for the year because, as I said, I'm not spending a whole heck of a lot more. There's a couple new releases and stuff that have been on pre-order that is it, but anyway, I'm starting to ramble and I've gone already a minute and a half into this clip. So, what did I get? I bought Metallica's S&M 2. Supposedly this is just as good. Some claim this to be even better than the original first S&M, which I believe was released in It was in 1990s. I'm not sure what year. I actually can't remember truly offhand. But, yeah, the first one is great. I don't own it on physical format. I have my digital copy from my uncle who let me borrow a bunch of Metallica CDs in middle school. But, yeah. This has Call of Cthulhu, For Whom the Bell Tolls, both from Ride the Lightning, one of my favorite Metallica albums. The Memory Remains, which is a great one. Unforgiven 3, which is from Death Magnetic. So that'll be very interesting to hear in this version. They have one from Injustice for All. They have Master of Puppets from Master of Puppets, Enter Sandman, and Nothing Else Matters, both from the Black Album. Pretty much, I believe a couple of these are repeats that were originally on the first S&M. I can't remember. It's been too long since I've heard it, truly. But a lot of these are things that they did not do on the first one, which is going to be fantastic. I've heard great things about this, and I'm very much so looking forward to that. The vinyl version was a little pricey for my blood, and quite frankly, this is more than enough for me. Next, I got the 2018 Halloween soundtrack. This is the expanded edition. So instead of like 20-something tracks, this has like 40-something tracks. And it has the alternate album cover as well. I'd love to get this on vinyl record one day because these flames, there's like, it has like those lines in it that if you move the slip case on and off of it, the flames move, which is kind of cool. I have the standard edition of this digitally. I got it when this movie came out, even though I did not see this movie until about a month ago. But, of course, the full score is a lot better than partial, because I assume that the expanded edition is, in fact, the whole score versus the standard edition that did not. And this is John Carpenter, who did the original Halloween movie. And this is also in conjunction with his son, Cody Carpenter, which is cool. And, you know, Halloween 2018 is cool because it's as if Halloween 2 through whatever sequels they ended up doing were out of the picture. Laurie never died. And then Halloween 2018 is pretty much the replacement of Halloween 2 forward. So you see Laurie, all these years later, going pretty batshit. And that's about all I'll say because I'm not going to ruin the film for you guys who want to see it. But that was a cool concept of what they did for the 2018 version of the movie. Next, I got the soundtrack to Annabelle Creation. I actually just saw this movie for the first time a couple days ago. A fantastic movie. I'm still working my way through the Annabelle movies. I've seen Annabelle and I've seen Annabelle Creation. Comes Home I'm going to be seeing next. Or Comes Home. Something like that. But anyway, cool cover. It's, I forget that girl's name, holding the Annabelle doll, about to throw her into the well at night because she discovers that it is messing up her best friend, who I believe her friend's name was Janice. Although, at the end of the movie, when Janice is adopted, when the adoptive parents ask her, "What's your name, sweetie?" her response is not Janice. You'll see if you watch the movie. And then this was really cool. So my grandfather, when I got his 45s collection, had a 45 by a band called the DuPoints called Screamin' Ball at Dracula Hall. And I thought that was really cool because in the 50s and 60s, there was a whole bunch of rock and roll style Halloween tunes. Purple People Eater, Monster Mash. There's a handful of others probably that I can't think of at this exact moment. But a lot of those, and it's really cool. And my grandfather had a couple of those on 45, and I can't find these albums by people, really. But I found this comp called The Best of Horror, and this says 75 original horror favorites, including Monster Mash, Zombie Jamboree, Graveyard Rock, Werewolf, Dinner with Drac, I Put a Spell on You, and many more. And honestly, that's pretty freaking cool. 3 discs of this, and it has a Monster Mash, Bobby Boris Pickett and Crypt Kickers, Harry Belafonte with the Graveyard Jamboree. Let's see. But yeah, it's just Graveyard Shift, Purple People Eater, Don't Meet Mr. Frankenstein, The Mummy, Wolf Call, Legend of Sleepy Hollow, Teenage Creature, Screaming Ball at Dracula Hall, Frankenstein's Den, I Put a Spell on You. Honestly, this is what my grandparents were listening to at Halloween parties when they were bobbing for apples and watching It's a Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown for the first time. Like, it's kind of freaking cool. So I got those on Amazon. Now, as many of you know, I got my master's degree May 2020, and as part of my graduation gift, I was gifted the tickets to the Kiss farewell tour. Well, due to the pandemic, the concert was postponed a year, and there was the option of a refund or just to keep the tickets and all that. And my parents decided that they would rather get the refund, which I'm in agreement with. I'm not quite ready for big crowds and concerts, even though I miss them and would love to be going. And I don't know what 2021 is to bring, but it's always better to be safe than sorry in my book. So we got the refund for that. And then my mom said, all right, so how do you want them to send you other thing? And I happened to be on my computer making another music list, as I normally am doing, because I have so many lists in regards to music albums and that thing. And I just happened to be editing my want list. It's not my Discogs want list, but it's my want list of things that I want for Christmas or my birthday or all that, because my family likes me to make lists for them because I have so much music and they want to get me music. They'd rather me just give them a list and then they can pick and choose from there. So I was actually editing that list that I have in Microsoft Word on my Google Drive. And my mom told me the amount of money that was available to me. And I said, hold on a second, let me see the prices of a few things. So I was looking at a couple things. And I got these two things with X amount of money left, and I'm going to be receiving that in cash. The first one is a box set Grail. This album was originally released in 2003, if I'm remembering correctly, and was put on vinyl record for the first time in 2018. And that would be Led Zeppelin's How the West Was Won. Yes, it's a toss-up between this and the BBC sessions, probably my favorite live recordings of Zeppelin, of the official recordings. Song Remains the Same, I think, is pretty bad in my opinion. And Celebration Day is fantastic, but it's not the original lineup. Jason Bonham is great, but it's not the original lineup. And Jimmy Page is actually quoted on the back of this saying, "This is Led Zeppelin at its best and an illustration of how the West was won," which I think is pretty cool. This is what the back has. It shows some details of it. I assume this is just a piece of paper slid under the shrink wrap that'll come off. But this is from the 1972 performance in Los Angeles and Long Beach, California, for those who didn't know where the recordings came from initially. And yeah, and this has like a 20-minute version of Moby Dick from Zeppelin 2, because John Bonham just goes crazy on the drums. Great stuff. And then the last thing I got in this haul video, and the other thing I got from my parents for my graduation now, would be this box set of Max Richter's Sleep. I was introduced to Max Richter from Steve Carlson, and when me and Steve did our classical music collab, he showed the vinyl record version of For Sleep. What For Sleep is this piece of work, but condensed into an hour's worth. And it's kind of like a best of kind of thing, for lack of a better way to put it. And one day I would like to get that condensed version too, because this is 8 CDs of 8 hours of music plus the Blu-ray audio version of it. And literally, as Steve described it, and I've streamed this a couple times, it is very good. Pretty much, first of all, it's Deutsche Grammophon, so if that doesn't tell you it's good, I don't know what does. But pretty much, this was intended to be listened to when you're going to sleep. You're supposed to get 8 hours of sleep in a day. You're supposed to listen to this when you're going to sleep, and then when you wake up, you're supposed to be hearing the end of it. Or it's done by that point and you just wake up to silence. I don't know. But pretty much what Steve was telling me is that the first performances of this were at a hall, concert hall kind of thing, But instead of chairs and all that, beds were there. And the crowd, the patrons to see the performance, were encouraged to come in their pajamas and lay down and go back to sleep. And of course, since it's 8 hours of music, the musicians would have to interchange, because who could play for 8 hours straight? At least in a non-practicing sense, for a public performance, performing at their best, probably not many. But Max Richter is quoted on the back of this saying, "Sleep is my personal favorite lullaby for a frantic world, a manifesto for a slower pace of existence." And it's just fantastic. I have heard all 8 hours of this, in part while awake, truly in part while asleep, because I've streamed this during the day while I was driving around, and I've also streamed it when going to bed when I was restless and couldn't fall asleep. I want to hear it now in all 8 hours of it when I'm awake now. And I just got a Blu-ray player, as you saw or heard in the earlier videos clips. Thomas Palom sent me a Blu-ray player, so I could actually use the Blu-ray audio disc that comes with this, and I look forward to hearing what a Blu-ray audio disc sounds like. So that's going to be really cool, and I assume all 8 hours fit on that Blu-ray disc. I don't know, but this is very much so exciting. As I said, I want to get the 4 sleep condensed hour version of this one day, and I'm going to hopefully one day get the other Max Richter release that me and Steve talked about on that collab video called Reimagined Vivaldi's Four Seasons, which honestly, the first time I heard that, it actually put a tear to my eye. I'm not gonna lie, it was that powerful to me, and I really, really enjoyed it. So yeah, and Steve has talked on his channel about other Max Richter releases too that I'm interested in, but those are the 2 that I've heard and am actively looking for. Now, before I close off this video, there is one thing that is off camera and outside of my reach that I forgot to grab before grabbing this clip, so I want to do that, and then we'll clock out. All right, just like in an earlier clip, we're getting up close and personal for this one. So Rachel the Music Man has sent me another VCLT, a Canadian survival pack kind of thing, which I was obviously very much appreciative of. I thought that was really cool. And I'm not going to show everything that was in it, but it had like a Canadian flag, Canadian shot glass, a toonie and a loonie, which were really cool. And various other Canadian goodies, some maple syrup and all that, authentic Canadian maple syrup. But what I'm going to show here is this. This is Icon, the best of Canada from the 1980s. And this features acts such as Rush, as one would expect, and a bunch of others. It has Triumph, it has Prism, it has Helix, it has Luba, Grapes of Wrath. Handful of these I've heard of, a handful of them I have never heard of, but just figured I'd give credit where credit is due in that regard, so thank you, Rachel, for that. I hope you guys enjoyed my haul video. Yes, it was long. I'm sorry to make it so long. I'm going to try to make the feature ones a little shorter if possible. So, thank you guys for watching. Keep on spinning that wax. Let me know what kind of new releases you've recently gotten, and I will see you in the next Vinyl Record video.